I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, I just did a stadium last year.
Yeah.
Went double platinum.
Yeah.
We did Sway. I started counting everything that made me feel like I deserved that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like from drama. Like I did so much. Influenced the culture so much. Like the AG Mobile. I'm just thinking of everything I've done, right? And I look at, some of the people that, well, the guy that I would be compared to, and I'm like, you ain't even dropped an album, or what did you do from the previous nomination to this one? Like between that, what did you do? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, this shit is not fair just because I'm not signed to Sony, or I'm human, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, does this change my impact on the culture? Like this nomination, does it? Does it? Does this change that I'm still the only South African to fill up the dome? Then we did Orlando Stadium. I'm about to do FNB, the highest selling album of all time. Just the way I've impacted people's lives. Like besides stats, what my name means to people in the hood, in the music. There's nothing that can ever change that but myself. If I wake up tomorrow and I start doing drugs,
self-destruct.
Yeah, I'm the only person who can destruct what I've done. And so I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. I'm angry. Everybody would be angry. I deserve this, I deserve that. I don't have the power to change it. Everybody knows the truth. Even those who are nominated, they're sitting there thinking, but, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that, you know? So I'm like, all right, cool. Speaking of like, how do I discipline myself? I always think about the positives. And I had dropped, I dropped an amazing album.
Yeah.
My best album, the hardest album of the year. We just went platinum in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or something like that.
1 million streams.
We did 1 million streams in 13 days. We did on Apple Music. And we did
that's Apple Music only, yeah?
That's Apple only.
Not mentioning that, like, you also did a whole lot of streams on YouTube because they put the album
we still haven't got Spotify, we still haven't got Deezer, all of that, right? We went gold on the same day. We dropped. Music, I didn't want to take more copies because of, I don't know, how people are selling, I guess. And they were like, nah, we're only going to take 7,000 copies. They sold out within hours, bro. And they had to order the same day. They called and we gave them the order and we went gold that day, same day. And I'm thinking, that's the problem with us as people. You have so much going for you, but you want to concentrate on this small thing that you didn't get. You have so much, but we always want to concentrate on this black dot. Yo, I should have been nominated for a BT. Bro, being nominated for a BT is not going to change my career. I've been nominated. We all know we're not going to win. We all know who's going to win. And if it's not him, you know that you're not second. So it's like, is it actually worth it? You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, bro. So that's how I discipline myself. Every time I feel like ranting or wilding out or reminding people of, how big I am or whatever. I used to do that in the beginning. I calm myself down and I look at all the dope shit that's happening in my life. And I speak to my team. And they're very positive people, and they're always, uplift my spirit. Shout out to TLee. He's the first person I spoke to when that happened.
Yeah.
We're already planning, like, yo, when we get nominated for the BET, we're gonna do this and that. And then it came out, and we're like, man, all of that doesn't matter. But yeah. But they nominated us last year, and it helped us with a lot of stuff because we went to LA. I think that's when I met Black Thought.
I want to get into that. So, like, now, album's gone platinum, gold on the same day. Features, MC Ham is retweeting you. Beats, Ebro, they just dropped it last night, I was up 5-1 trying to get it, You got an amazing single with Aupelo Destiny, which, I mean, you say is not a single yet, but that's an amazing song. I mean, it's, I tell you, I first listened to the album, you gave me the disc, and I listened to it from home. Now, I'll be honest, I was partially disappointed by the second disc, because the second album, and I wasn't sure, maybe I listened to it straight I got at the concert, and you know, sometimes when you've got out of a lot of noise, things are not the same in the car, you know what I mean? Because we got it from the concert. But like, I got this album, man, and I was on track 5, and I was like on some, yo, man, I was just like, you pouring out your heart, man, you coming in here, you know what I mean? I was like, I just like, you know, when you're on track 5 and you're like, shit is so good, I'm scared to go to track 6, 7 because I think it's going on. You know, it's not going to deliver, you know? But as is, I was so tied up by the first few songs that like the next day when I carried on, it almost like, I carried on from where I left, and like I felt like, okay. Then I listened to the whole album again, and then I started picking up the songs at the end also. I was like, you know what I mean? All I could think of, because I mean, I'm an artist, and I'm from, or at least I'm from an artist headspace, I was like, this album, man, you must have felt a resentment or such a push from this industry that you were like, it's okay, but I'm just gonna pour my heart out, you know, because it's hard for an artist to do that, especially on your level. It's not like you were struggling, even on your second album. I just felt like you felt you felt so much marginalization from this industry that you said the only way I'm gonna beat it is through positive energy.
Yeah. I think on my second album, man, it's fucked up that the album that I named after myself is my worst selling album, because this one is gonna probably be like double platinum in 2 months or something, and it's my fastest selling album of all time, right? So I was talking to my sisters yesterday, like Thuto and Sulufel. I'm like, man, you guys have the best albums. Sulufel is like the purest of energy, and then Thuto is like my most mature, most solid body of work. My second album, I don't think I made it at the right time, because it was at a time where the whole industry was coming at me just for being #1. And all I had to say is, you motherfuckers ain't rich as I am.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So the energy at that time, I was fighting so much that I forgot to put it in a creative manner. Like, I didn't care about the creativity. I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
You know, so many bitch niggas rapping in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm listening, I'm like, I can never make bad music. You know, there's a level you get to and you can never make bad music.
Yeah.
Drake can never make bad music. I can never make bad music. Nasty C can never make bad music. There's a level of creativity can never make bad music. There's a level of creativity that you get to that everything that you do is actually a good song, right? But now, excelling is something else, like making a product that is outstanding, that is better than what we know you for, that is better than your last project. Because your first project, we don't have anything to judge you on, so it's always dope.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I wasn't creative. I was just really angry, rich, and jaded. So with my third album, like you saying, I did feel the resentment, but I wasn't fighting. Like there's an interview where I say, yo, I'm about to, same slicker again. I was like, yo, I'm about to drop the hottest video, the greatest video, the greatest SA hip hop video of all time. Then I said, I'm about to drop my best album. Then I said, on this album, you can literally hear that I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I was just making music from my point of view. This was not my plan, really. I started making this album with Gemini, right? And it was a lot of like boom, boom, like a lot of like trap, a lot of, you know, trying to make hits, trying to fit into these like new school cats, right? And then Gemini left. So when Gemini leaves, it's me and Ali, right? Which I trust, because we're working with him and Gemini. But now, we always had with Jem and I, we always trusted that the drums were gonna be crazy because Jem is there. Now Jem is not there anymore. It's just me and Ali. And I said to Ali, I remember we were in studio, and Jem and I were supposed to come to studio, and he didn't come. And I said to Ali, bro, let's make music, man. Like, let's forget everything that's going on right now. We might not know, you know, how to make it sound like 808 Mafia, or we might not know, you know, Lil Uzi Vert, and we might not know all that stuff that's hot right now. And I love it. And it was at a point where I'd grown to love it and not hate it anymore, like an OG. I actually loved it, you know, and I said, okay, that's what they do, I love it, but I can't do it like them, they're masters of that. So I said, what I know how to do is to tell stories. I know how to, you know, tell my story, and I know how to paint pictures. I know how to produce soulful records. I produced a lot on that album. And funny enough, I produced the songs that people actually love, you know, are my concepts.
Yeah.
So I sat there with Ali, bro, we went through samples, we went to Mesh Brai. Like every Sunday they play like classics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, they're playing Steamy, like So Superman was
I love that. I love how you mix that. You know, I was saying to someone, I was saying an OG like TLee. I was like, and you put him on a hip hop beat, and it's a song. Yeah. You can't say that like it's his type of song.
Yeah.
You can't say it's just a song. You don't, even if it wasn't, it's a song. I love how you got that right. You know what I mean?
It's Ali, man. It's like it's the balance between me, rapper, hip-hop producer, and then Ali is a musician. So when they come together, I did the drums. So like my drum is like, okay, to give it like a boom, like boom, boom, boom. You know, Ali, like the chords, is to make it sound like a song, right? And once I heard Ali's chords and that sample, that's actually started with my voice, and I wanted Ali to play it as a synth. Ali did it with his voice, then we left it as a sample. Then it sounds like we actually sampled someone's song. And there's no sample. So when I kept on hearing the song, I wrote it like 2 a.m. one time. I just woke up and had this concept, thought about my father, I wrote it.
Say some strong things there, man.
Very strong, man.
That's some strong things.
My dad was, when we were doing Orlando, my dad was retiring. So that's where the song came from. I'm like, yo, my dad is retiring. He was just a teacher, but I've seen him produce so many great people. So, you know, and I'm one of them. I'm actually his student. So I'm like, I don't think my dad has ever felt appreciated in his life. You know, and as a man, I know we all have egos, and I'm like, so many rappers rap about their moms, and I'm like, yo, not all men are trash. Like my dad was not trash. My dad wasn't a Rolling Stone. I didn't sleep at night not knowing where my dad was. I actually had a father figure who raised me well. So I wanted to, you know, make a song for that. And that's actually MC Hammer's favorite song on the album. He tweeted about that. He's like, yo, man, happy Father's Day in advance because of this song, right? So
it's an amazing song.
Then I thought, man, how could I take this song to the next level? I had already worked with Mautela Queens.
By the way, I also love that song, even though it was on the album. That's not my favorite. That's my, I love Malum is my joint.
And that song also came at a time where we were fighting with this other producer, and I said to Ali, yo, let's just make music. That's the funny thing. You're fighting with a producer, then I'm like, whatever, let's make music. Let's take these vocals and make something out of it, and that turned into Malume. And Malume changed my mind. Like Superman, like exists cause of Malume. So when we made Superman, then I'm like, yo, I need to get like a song like Malume, you know, that's gonna hit you. So I said, Tepo, like, can we get him? And TLee tried and tried and tried. Then he just surprised me and said, yo, you're in studio with him tomorrow. I'm like, man. So I'm in studio with Tepo, the craziest rock star I've ever met in my life. People will not believe me. Like, if you rappers think you've ever lived, if rappers think they have crazy stories.
Tepo, you.
Man. I
The
couldn't
stories
believe
that
it.
there's the stories that these guys have
My
had,
man.
like, and they're not like local stories, bro.
Like he's also, yo, I was in New York. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and he talks.
I
Yeah,
can't
I've heard him
yeah.
talk. Yeah.
I can't tell the story, but he was like, he was in New York, and man, he'll tell the story. I think it'll be disrespectful if I told the stories. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, how
yeah,
cool
fair.
we are.
Yeah, of
But
course, of
the
course.
stories are crazy, like, and the wisdom in the middle of that crazy story, the wisdom, bro. You just want to sit there with a pad and just write these quotes and then just put them in a song, and you sound like Nas if you just listen to Tepo and just wrote these things down. And then he related to the song because he said, yo, he's a father and he loves his kids. And he wrote it from that aspect, like what he would want his kids to say to him as a father, how he would want to feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he told us what he was gonna do before he even did it. He says, I'm gonna do this choral that I'm gonna put beneath, and then after that, then I'm gonna put the main vocal, and it's gonna make sense in the end. So he started putting the Superman, and we're sitting there, bro, and it doesn't make sense at the time. Then he came with the verse, my man. It became a party in the studio, and I didn't want to tell anybody about it. I just wanted people to hear the music. I didn't want to say, yo, this Tepo Sola song, no. I just wanted people to hear the music, and I think the best thing I could have done for this album is just shut the fuck up and
Not oversell.
put out the music and let it talk for itself. Let me not say, the only thing I had to say was, yo, guys, this is my greatest album. And that became the topic. Like, is it actually his greatest album? So when it came out, everybody wanted to hear if it was my greatest project. And within a week, everybody was like, yep.
Superman, when I listened to Superman, and I just said, I got a son, obviously, you know, and I just said, man, I'll be so dope just to hear my kids say this to me. That's what I even thought about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can imagine how my dad feels.
In my own cheese, like, you know what I mean? In my own zone, I was just thinking, yo, man, it's you in London. You wanted to tell me what you were doing in London, what was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Were you guys, you in London, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanted to tell me about that.
Yeah. There's this show called the One Africa Music Fest, right? Which is predominantly Afrobeats artists, you know, predominantly Nigerian acts.
Yeah.
They had one in New York, then they went to Atlanta, and it was like 2 sold out shows. They did like, I think 10,000 people each. And then they were going to London and they were like, yo, Africa Fest. And then, you know, they were like, man, like, who can we get from Southern Africa? And then they got me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, bro, I'm like the alien in this lineup.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting there, you know, doing their showkees. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then here comes this guy in a bright orange tracksuit. And everybody's like, what's going on here? First, second song, the third song, bro, we smashed it as a party. Smashed it out the park. We did Thuto, 12,000 people in Wembley Arena, the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Because I'm thinking, this is not like me performing in Botswana where
where they know you.
They know me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like me performing in Joburg. I'm literally performing for 12,000 people in London. I don't know if there's a South African rapper who's ever done it, ever. You know, and I'm just on that stage performing my heart out, man. And I get off stage, I meet this dude from Tidal who was streaming the Tidal thing, and you know, and we talk about a lot of crazy stuff. But anyway, that was, you know, the reason why we went to London to headline.
You went with the whole squad though, yeah?
Yeah, I went with Nadia. She was recording as well out there with a guy called Rhymes. Rhymes is one of the top producers in London.
Yeah.
She did like a PR run as well. Rhymes was working with an artist called Steph London. She's like, you know, the next big thing in the world. Like, she's like the hottest artist in London right now. She's like the Nicki Minaj of, you know what I'm saying? I met her, she loved Thuto, we spoke. We also gonna work. And I met a lot of UK artists as well. So we did like a UK thing. I didn't go to any African blogs or anything. I just felt like if we want to grow, we have to go to, you know, the small English radio stations and grow the brand.
So what's up? What's next for Cassper?
Right now it's the album. You know, people should really check out the album. It's the most important thing.
Have you got a
It's
date for
out.
Fill Up F&B?
I have a date,
Yeah.
but I'm not ready to take it out yet because I want people to go buy the album.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this interview, go buy the album. If you haven't bought the album, if you have bought it on your phone, go buy the hard copy, and because that's what matters. So that's what is next for me. I'm gonna do a little tour, you know, around the album. You know, last year I did like a big ass tour with a big stage and whatever. This year I literally want to go perform in taverns and pubs. You know, go back to the people.
Yeah.
Shoot videos, push the album, get back to the music, just the music. The music is the most important thing right now, you know what I'm saying?
Is there a ceiling for Cassper?
No, bro.
And I'll tell you why. Like I said, when you're on your third album, one would have said, yeah, you know, I said whatever the ceiling was for an artist. With your third album, you showed us that, hey, what you know is more. I'll give you an example, or just generally what happened the day you dropped your album. The morning it dropped. So fortunately, I'd already heard it.
Yeah.
I get a call. I don't know. You know Stethoscope?
Yeah.
I get a call
Legendary.
from him. Yeah, I get a call from him at like 6:30 in the morning. Right? He's like, "Mfana, Mfana, ne? What do you think of the album Leia Cassper? You know?" No, Mfana. I tell him what I think. He's like, "I'm Mfana. Oh, you download it, and this is how it talks. You download it about 12. I la lela ne. I'm Mfana. Me plan ma bani tinkathela yabo. Ngavuka futhi ngayilalela yonke. Ayifana yabali album le blind. You know? I'm like, hey B, you know, whatever. Then later on, you know, I get a call from like it's almost like
It's crazy because Stethoscope is one of the, never worked with him, but he's one of the dudes that I've been impressed by.
Yeah.
Like in terms of production, like that song that he did with Briggs and Sugar Smacks really stands out. There's a couple that I won't remember right now.
I mean, even
But it's
produced
like-
Dreamer, but like, so
He's crazy.
Then I get a call like late in the afternoon, you know. Tabiso's my good friend. You know, me and Tabiso, he OG, like he was an OG when I was coming up, but we become good friends. He goes, yo, Slick. You know,
Yeah.
yo, Slick. Yo, man, I gotta say, yo, man, this kid is a rapper, right? I always have my reservation, but this kid is a rapper, right? Like when I hear the cadence, the stories, this kid is a rapper. All right, this album, I mean, look, and you know how Tavis is like, I was like, you know, the first album,
very
the second album
harsh.
was trash, you know, the second album was trash, but yo, this album, I'm convinced, this is the one, you know, I'm like, all right, so I got you, you know what I mean, you know, then like, immediately, like as I drop the phone, Caesar calls me. He doesn't even say hello. He goes, "This kid got a classic. This kid got a classic," you know. And they never even said anything to me. He just called me. This kid got a classic.
Caesar, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that's why I sent you the text, and I said, "Yo, my peers are going crazy over this album."
that's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? It's like real people. Like were really like.
Those are like,
Yeah, real people. I mean, look, no matter how you feel about Tabiso, and I also have my thing. I think he's sometimes, but he's a
very
hip hop
harsh.
scholar.
Yeah.
He's a hip hop dude. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. Any debate I'm having with him, you know, despite the business, beside music, I know he's a guy that's like loves hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he called me like, "Yo, you a rapper," you know. I even saw Tumi posting something like, you know, because his kid had like a Cassper Nyovest like top or something like that, and I saw him also posting something saying, you know, sometimes we say things, but like maybe like we learn from the kids, whatever the case be. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, man, that's such a positive vibe, you know, and I was so happy to see that, like, even though I would have liked to have that long ass interview first, you know, I was so happy to see that you had Fresh had a whole long interview with you, and I was like, you know, this thing that you're fighting to be on, now they can't ignore you. They're gonna give you a whole hour. It was the first time I saw that happening. You know what I mean? And I was like,
it was actually the first time.
and so when I saw that, I was like, this thing with these guys that you say, but you know what? Just do you. And when you do you so well, they got no choice.
You know, for me, the most beautiful thing of how everything came together, I even say it on the first song on the album. I say, it came together way better than I expected. So when I look at what brought everything together, the history, the stats, what actually brought everything together was the music. So for me, that's the most beautiful thing, that it started with the music, I branched into crazy things, and then what made everybody a believer again and made everybody, agree. It was the very first, in my career, I've never dropped anything that people agreed on, said, this is in. Since I started, there's never been a time that I dropped an album, a song, a video, and have everybody in the game agree and say, this is that
Even
shit.
KO tweeted, somebody was like, yo, I said, yo, KO, when you're dropping your album,
There's so much nonsense out
so much
here.
nonsense. Then KO literally was like,
Not everything
not
that's
everything
out
is
is
out there,
nonsense.
you know. And he said Thuto's like is dope, you know. Man, for me, I love seeing those things. You know what I mean?
Me too, bro.
I love
And
seeing those things.
It means more to me, bro. Trust me. Like, bro, the game has shitted on me enough times. But if they didn't do that, then they wouldn't have produced this album.
What you are, yeah.
You know,
And
so
just
I
the
had to
person.
go through all of that to understand the things that I understand now. For me to be calm, and then, bro, I hit the bullseye because I was very, very calm. I looked at my target and I ignored distractions. You know, the album was like 12 songs. I add 2 more to make it more relevant to what was going on, you know, social media, and those 2 songs just, fit in there. And then I ended up removing more songs that were dope. I had like smash hits on the album, and I was like, man, I have enough smash hits. I've got enough. Let me give people a project that's not gonna disturb them and be hard to understand. It's an album. It's solid. It's like that. You don't have to skip songs. You just have to play it. You know, there's a guy who told me he played the skit for 30 minutes. Flying to Durban. He says, bro, I kept on repeating that skit. Just laughing, saying, bro, what are these guys saying? And when I got to Durban, I understood now, okay, it's a lingo. You know, I called some other dude who explained some of the words I didn't understand. So when I listen to Top Shayera, and then I hear like the lingo taking it to the top, and I'm like, man, you know, I might just have, you know, my first like classic in my opinion. You know, like there's no song that I skip on that album, me personally.
It's a beautiful album.
Yeah.
Yo, man, shout out coming out through to the balcony.
Thank you.
And just as a takeaway, you know, and I was saying this to Ricky also, like yesterday or whenever I saw him. It's something that like a lot of us who used to make music commercially like only see later on. The most important thing is the music. And you said it, and I don't want you to forget it. The most important thing is the music. Because of the music, you sell me your merchandise. You sell me your concert.
Everything.
You sell me your lifestyle. But it all comes back to the music. If you don't get the music right, even after you've sold me all those things, I start like looking at all those things and saying like, but do you even deserve that? That's how the mind thinks. The mind goes, but right now you can show people anything. But because of your work, they go, no, you can't question this cat.
Nah, bro. I think my album is, it represents that you can do, like I'm saying, I've done so many great things, but I've never ever been appreciated by the game like this in my life, in my lifespan as an artist. I've never had every single day, like we got shout outs from like Zakwe, Duncan, Fresh, Zano. These are musicians, bro. Kabo, Black Thought sent me an SMS, bro, saying, bro, you've got like anthems on this thing. Black Thought, bro. You know, MC Hammer. I've never met MC Hammer in my life. I don't even know where MC Hammer met that album,
look,
bro.
we talking about MC Hammer today because of Cassper Nyovest.
No.
You know, ain't nobody talking about
Dog,
MC Hammer.
I saw MC Hammer trending in Durban. Can you imagine?
Come on.
Like I never ever expected that, you know.
And you don't even have to legit to quit on that album.
Bro.
I like your response that you had.
I wish I actually, yeah. Then it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. It's so prophetic, you know, to say things on a song and then, you know, and bro, crazy shout out. Black Coffee said it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Black Coffee is literally one of the biggest DJs in the world right now.
Oh yeah.
Diddy said that's the best DJ in the world right now.
Yeah.
And he sent me a message saying, yo, the album is a masterpiece. These are musicians who are listening from a music point of view, not hip hop. They're just listening, you know, to appreciate. 1 million streams on Apple Music is not a joke. Like, all these things came from music. This is not me being a genius with the marketing ideas again. There was no gimmick, you know, there was no beef, there was no celebrity couple, maybe Boiti posting my album. It's none of that. It's me. I posted the link of the album, I released it the day I said I was gonna release it, and we left it at that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a diss track a week before, like none of that. We put out the album, the music. I respected the music so much that I also made sure that I wasn't involved in anything that was going to distract the music.
That's discipline, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there were so many things that pissed me off, and I had to relax, but I have to respect this project. I used to say to TLee, bruh, I am gonna burst because I wanna say something, but I can't because I have to respect this project and just let it, you know, come out. And the most beautiful thing is it all came together with the music. I've never had, you know, Sizwe say anything like that about me. He's always had something good to say about me, but he's never, you know, been that ecstatic about the music.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying, yo, let's do something and let's talk about the album, you know, you know, we were like, so we were debating. It was like, yo, let's try to get Scoop involved. Let's try to do Vuzu. Let's try to do an online thing or whatever. And then, you know, the reason why he said we never ended up doing it, it was like, we were like, but if he does it, you know, because obviously we Slick on Live a platform. If he does it and he doesn't do it for other people, it's going to create it. So that was the conversation. That was the conversation
I already spoke
behind
to Scoop.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to do an hour interview with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, let's ask a channel. I said, no, let's put in our own money, shoot this thing, make it look dope. Let me explain some of the stuff on the album. Yeah. Make it an hour, edit it. Then we'll go to a channel and say, here's a program, you know, give us 4 million.
We were saying it would be me, Scoop, and Sizwe, and we're gonna like literally.
No, let's do
album,
it. I want to do it.
I mean?
Like, and it's not. And if anybody releases an album that's just as amazing, you know, do it for him as well. But let's be the first one.
You know, like Sizwe is now a globetrotter. He's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys are hard to find.
I can talk,
you know what I mean?
man, I could make it happen, bro. I'm gonna do it anyway, even if it's just you and Scoop. Even if it's...
Let's get Sizwe in.
Let's do it, bro.
Yeah.
Because I really, really would love to explain and let it be about the music.
Yeah.
Again and have an hour-long discussion on the music. What did you mean here? You know, and things like that. You know, it's so dope that the longest conversation here again is the music. Because that's what I wanted to. You can go and ask TLee. I said, TLee, for the next 3 months, I don't want any interviews. I don't want no business meeting. I don't want nothing. Leave me. I'm at my house.
I know
I'm
you
gonna gym,
told me.
and I'm gonna make an album. And he was like, no, we can still do it. I said, TLee, leave me alone. And I said there, and my man, I'm so proud of this album. I'm very proud. And also, I'm like a big thank you to the fans. You know, you can never ever thank them enough. They went out there. They didn't know what was on the album. They still, you know, bought, you know, a gold selling amount.
And it's the first time you never gave it for free also.
Yes, no songs were for free. So it's dope, bro.
Look, I mean, congratulations,
Thank
man,
you.
on everything. I always want to shout out, like, also, because I know how the mechanics of this thing works.
Yeah.
But I always want to shout out, like, TLee all the time.
You have
you know, in order for you to be who you are, you also need a guy who actually, like, has the discipline that you have. You know what I mean?
True.
I mean, I can't tell you
He's
how
more disciplined than me.
Of course he has to be. And
TLee's taken me out of a lot of situations, bro. Like one time I pissed Thabiso off. It's never been told, that story. And Thabiso wanted to cut my head off. Bro, he even came at the metros, bro. He came, he'd be like behind me. He was like, yeah, what's up? And I was thinking, man, I'm getting a beating today, you know what I'm saying? And TLee came between, and TLee's a short ass nigga.
Yeah.
And somehow, I don't know how he does it, man. He just speaks sense into people, even me, myself, you know. Sometimes, and TLee's gotten me out of serious situations.
TLee is key, is legendary, you know. I mean, you know, it's a skill to be the artist that you are, but it's a skill to be a manager also. And I rate TLeee up there with some of the best managers in this country, because there's not a lot
in the world, man. Not the country, bro. Like, bear in mind, yo, we doing 1 million streams, right? Drake does 1 million streams and it's news, right? We did that in South Africa, and well, in Africa, in the world, because of it's not South Africa anymore. It's because of, you know, infrastructure and stuff like that. We actually now talking to the whole world. Now look at it like this. I don't see myself as a South African act anymore, and that's how I made this album.
Yeah.
That's why there's so little vernac on the album, because I know that I'm talking to people in Kenya, I'm talking to people in London, talking to people in Nigeria who just love maybe me on my story, and I wanted to make an album they could understand, right? So TLeee is literally managing one of the biggest artists, you know, and we might not have the reach that Drake has or whatever yet, but you know what I'm saying? In terms of numbers, we're doing pretty amazing numbers, you know what I'm saying? So, and we built this from the bottom, me and him, no Sony, not even one time did we try and, you know what I'm saying? It's still the both of us. So I think he's an amazing, not just artist, but I mean, not just artist manager, but also a talent developer. You know, he's been very influential in my decisions. That album was made for TLee's friends, basically. Because he's always having to justify, you know what I'm saying? And say the kid can rap. And they're like, man, this kid of yours, they're like in their 30s. And they said, bro, when the album came out, he said, bro, those guys were like, we can't believe this. They said, in their words, this is the first album that dropped since this new sound that they resonate with and made them understand what's going on, and also gave them what they loved from the old school boom bap, you know, and the storytellers, but at the same time, it sounds new to them. So he says one of TLee's best friends was playing the album with his 14-year-old nephew. And they were bumping the album, and he says they loved the very same songs. He would think that he would have some songs that he likes, and then the deep songs he wouldn't really mess with. But he's like, it was so weird. It was the first time they actually agreed on the music. So it was also, it was a big influence. And before we cut this interview, I have to mention we have a store as well that we just opened, you know? So people should go check out the store. We've got new stuff. This is also part of the new stuff that's coming out. So people, come out. It's called Family Tree Store, Newtown Junction. And support, man.
Support the kid.
Yeah.
Majin.
Yes.
I'm always happy, man.
Nadia's album's coming out in October.
Oh yeah.
Tseho's EP, Pink Panther's coming out on the 22nd of June. And that's the squad,
Yo, thanks for coming through, man.
Capo's got a couple of TV shows, that's about to drop.
I got something in mind, but you know.
For Capo?
Yeah,
man. As long as my niggas making money, man.
You know, I got.
Because Capo knows my PIN code, so if Capo's not making money, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So as long as Capo is making money, I know,
we got it. We got it.
Slick as the plug, shout out, dope interview. How long is it?
Yeah.
An hour and a half.